What's good, YouTube? It's your boy RDG, and I'm coming to y'all as promised with part 2 of my NFL mock draft. Now, we do have a couple of little things that have changed in the past week. You know, spots 13, 14, 15, and 16 have kind of changed. Last week, the standings were a little bit different. So without further ado, let's get right into it, y'all. So at 1, Evan Neal. 2, Hutchinson. 3, Thibodeau. 4,
What did you say, nigga?
5, Charles Cross. 6, Stingley. 7, Kenny Pickett. 10, Cal Hamilton. 11, Matt Corral to the Broncos. 12, Jordan Davis. Where you at, big dog? There you go. Okay, 13, Browns. So this is what changed. The Browns and the Saints kind of swapped. So now the Browns have the 13th pick instead of the 14th pick, which I still think they take a receiver. But now, since the Browns pick ahead of everyone, pick ahead of the Saints, I think they will go ahead and take Garrett Wilson to be their primary receiver instead of Chris Olave. Because before, Garrett Wilson was not on the board. So we're going to take Garrett with number 13. So Miami lost. So Miami got a better draft pick. Top 15 unprotected. So now the Eagles are right here. So now that the Eagles are right here, it changes everything. But I think what the Eagles need most is, help the offensive line out with Jalen Hurts. Obviously, they have Tyler at center. I feel like they can take Tyler. Or they can go down a little bit and they can take Bernard Ramon out of Central Michigan. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take Tyler. Welcome to the Eagles, Tyler. Now, 15, before I had him taking Garrett Wilson, y'all. Now, since Garrett Wilson isn't on the board, they're going to have to take another receiver. And I think they're going to go with Chris Olave or Jameson Williams. Now, the Saints, they don't have a true number one. I think Olave will be really great as a number one, but I think he needs a true alpha on the outside of him so he can free up. He's not really a physical freak. He's a guy that runs behind a lot of the defenses that could, he could play in the slot and absolutely kill. But you can't really play in the slot for the Saints because they don't really have an outside threat. With that being said, I think Jameson Williams is, the more surefire number one on the outside. I do think Olave will have a better career, but I feel like Jameson, just has more number one potential. He's listed at about 6'2", 210. He's fast. I think he has that number one stuff. So now at 15 to the Saints, I'm going to go Jameson Williams. Welcome New Orleans, baby. Now at 16, we have the Steelers. Before I had them taking David Ojabo. And I'm not going to change what they did. At 16, Steelers, welcome to Pittsburgh, David. And at 17, before I had them taking Jameson Williams, but now Jameson and Garrett is off the board, I think they're going to go the next best receiver at Chris Olave. Welcome back to LA. Now we start the later picks. 18, Raiders. They got Derek Carr. They got Josh Jacobs. Unfortunately, they lost Henry Ruggs. I think they kind of focus on the defense, with new coaching and new things like that. And Nakobe Dean is probably the best available defender on the board. So I'm going to go ahead and say, welcome to Oakland, Nakobe Dean. Here we go again with the Eagles. Man, the Eagles, I feel like they got 20 picks in the first round, y'all. But since with the last pick, I took Tyler Linderbaum, right? Yep. With this pick, you can go a multitude of ways. Darius Slay has been a great addition. He's been an all-pro DB for him. So I don't think they go DB. I think they might go guard to kind of shore up the offensive line even more. I think Jaquan Brisker is the best safety on the board at this point. So instead of, going Kenyon Green from Texas A&M, I'm going to go ahead and switch it up and go Brisker out of Penn State. Welcome to Philly, baby. Now the Ravens, a lot of the Ravens team was injured this year. And with that being said, their true hole is another pass catcher for Lamar Jackson. They have Hollywood Brown, they have Mark Andrews, but they don't really have a true number one receiver. It was supposed to be Rashad Bateman, but he came in hurt. So, they don't really have that guy. And I feel like at 20, if Drake London is still here, he's a big body. Like I said, he might transition to tight end, but if he doesn't, he's 6'5", 230, 240. And if he can play on the outside, I feel like this would be a very good target for Lamar Jackson. So at 20, I think you got to take the best offensive weapon that's still on the board, and you got to go Drake London. Now we got the Dolphins. The Dolphins, they have a QB situation, but I'm being told that Deshaun Watson to Miami is pretty much a done deal. And with Deshaun Watson going there, I think they need to shore up the offensive line. At number 21, I got the Dolphins taking Kenyon Green. Now we got the Patriots on the board. The Patriots, they need a pass catcher. There is no if, ands, anything around it. They need someone for Mac Jones to kind of grow with in the organization. Just like all these other young quarterbacks, they're getting guys that can catch the ball. And the next best available pass catcher on the board is Treylon Burks out of Arkansas. I like Treylon Burks, but I also like Jahan Dotson. The best receivers that really thrive in Bill Belichick's offense are those small, speedy guys who can get open in those little tight spaces. So with that being said, I got another receiver coming off the board in the first round in Jahan Dotson. So welcome to New England, baby. Now we got the Eagles back on the clock. At this point, you have an abundance of picks. They're not going to hit on all 4 or 5 picks that they have in the first round. So with that being said, I think you got to go DB. You have Darius Slay. He's having an all-pro season, like I said. But you got to shore up the other side as well. So at number 23, I think they got to go DB. And out of all the DBs on the board, I really like Ahmad Gardner. So at 23, I think Ahmad Gardner is going to be a Philadelphia Eagle. Welcome. At 24, the Cardinals, they got to shore up that defense as well. And as you can see, it's defensive galore still on the board. So at 24, I think it's a no-brainer. You got to take the next available DB, which I think is Roger McCreary out of Auburn. I really like McCreary. I like his upside. I think he's one of those DBs that's kind of been slept on. He hasn't been getting a lot of recognition or attention, but I think he has intangibles to really be a lockdown DB. At 25, the Bills' defense has kind of fallen off this year, and I feel like they need to kind of help the front seven out a little bit. Their DBs, they still have Tre'Davious White, which is a plus. So I don't think they really go for DB, but I do think that they go DeMarvin Leal. No-brainer. DeMarvin, welcome to Buffalo. At 26, the Bengals, that offense is set. They don't need to touch anything on the offensive side of the ball. What they do need to touch is that defense that, that gives up nearly 30 points a week. So the Bengals, they need to go DB. The next best available defensive back on the board is Trent McDuffie. I like Trent McDuffie, and I also like Elam. But I think you got to go Trent McDuffie right here. So Trent, welcome to Cincinnati. Buccaneers, their defense kind of fell off this year too, and a lot of it has been the defensive backs. They've been hurt. They haven't really performed the way they did last year. So I think, this doesn't, you don't have to take too much time with this pick. At number 27, if Elam is still on the board, the Buccaneers have to take him. At 28, the Lions, they got a lot of holes. But I think they go Sam Howell. Boom. At 29, we got the Titans. Offensive side of the ball, they got Derrick Henry, they got A.J. Brown, Ryan Tannehill. Defense, I think they need to shore up the defense. So at 29, I'm going Devin Lloyd. He was a beast. I watched him in a row as well. Duke can fly. At 30, the Cowboys, they're losing a lot of offensive firepower in the offseason. So at 30, if Treylon Burks is still here, I think he does similar to what he did 2 years ago with CeeDee Lamb. He's taking Treylon. The Chiefs is a tough one. Tyrann Mathieu is a free agent. And if Tyrann Mathieu doesn't choose to stay, which I think he won't, I think they take Jordan Battle out of Alabama. Boom. At pick 32, the last pick of the first round. Drum roll for me. I don't think Aaron Rodgers stays, but that's another video for another day. So at 32, if Andrew Booth is still here, which I consider him a top 15 player in this draft, I think they take him easily. So Andrew Booth, welcome to Green Bay. And there we have it. We got my whole first round draft picks right here. Okay, they're giving me some good grades. A-, A+. I think this right here is a no-brainer. Even if Treylon Burks isn't available, I think they still take a pass catcher. And I got an A- right here from Tennessee. So I average around an A. I don't know why I got a... Okay, I got an F because Nicholas Petit is kind of a low-rated offensive lineman. And I really wanted to go back and change it, but, I picked him, so I couldn't really renege on it. So I'll take that on the chin. I got an F for that. Got a D for Conwu, and I got a D+ for Charles Cross. But overall, I think I did a pretty good job. I got a couple F's and D's, but who ain't failed stuff in their life? The latter part, A+, B's. Boom. So I want to thank y'all for coming out for part 2 of my NFL mock draft. If y'all liked it, I'm going to go ahead and do an NBA mock draft. So drop a comment, like, subscribe, do whatever y'all do. It's your boy RDG.
Yeah, 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 yeah.